Okay, fine. So if we run, fine, so the last is like this, right? In square bracket. See what the toString method of arrays is doing for us. If it's an array, fine, it's putting in square brackets the elements from the which are there in the array, separated by comma. Okay, so the last output which you can see, last 3 lines. Okay, it says current account colon 1 2 3 4 comma. Fine. So this is when it is not in a sorted order. Okay. Fine. So fine. So this is okay. So I think we can put a few more system out println saying system before sorting. Okay. So this is what will be before sorting. Okay. Next we use the sort method. Okay. Fine. So how do we sort? Arrays dot sort, and we pass the account, the array as a parameter. Fine. So here there is no comparator we have done, but the account itself has its own comparison logic, but that will always be based on account number. Okay. Fine. So yeah, after this, yes, let's print it again. Okay, and let's check, compile and run the code. Fine. So now it's ordered by account numbers. Okay. Okay, fine. So
can we order it by the cache?
Yeah, fine. So here we have used the comparable interface. Fine. It's just depending on the our natural ordering for accounts is based on the account number, and that's what is happening. Okay, fine. Now let's try comparator. Fine. So now we use the comparator interface because we want ordering on some other criteria. Okay, fine. So let's try the comparator. So now see, for comparator, account class is not to be updated at all. Fine, we don't have to make any changes. Account has given its own logic that this is my natural ordering. Fine. So yes, you can sort elements here. I have a comparison logic, fine, which is now fine. So the natural ordering is defined by the class itself. Fine, but anyone else can define his own logic how he wants to order the account objects. Okay, so for that, yes, we may use a comparator. Okay, comparator is part of java.util package. Okay, and so we'll have to again say import java.util.comparator. Okay, and fine. So now we create a comparator. So yes, fine, comparator of account. Okay, fine. So yes, we want it sorted by names. Okay, so let's call it as name comparator equals, yeah, how do we create a comparator object? We have seen this is a functional interface, and therefore we might use a lambda expression. Okay, so our lambda expression would be saying, okay, let's use AC given two account objects. Fine, the method is compare with two parameters. Okay, so given two account objects AC1, AC2, fine, will return. Okay, we'll be putting in the next line, return AC1 dot get name dot compare to. Okay, and this is AC2 dot get name. Fine. Okay, so we got a comparator, and now how do we use the comparator? Again, we use it in the arrays.sort method, and where we are passing accounts, and second parameter will be the comparator. So we have our logic of comparison, fine, in a comparator, and when we sort, we pass that as a parameter. Okay, fine. So let's put, okay, we'll say after sorting by name, okay, so we can try this. Where is the return? Okay, yeah. So in in a lambda expression, fine, if it's a single statement, yes, we don't put a braces, but if it's a return statement, don't use the word return. Okay, fine, just the expression itself. Okay, fine. So now it's saying already defined in method main. Oh, have we done a lambda earlier in this variable AC1? Okay, yeah, AC1 is already declared, right? So let's call, okay, so here it will be, fine, there is a local variable AC1 and AC2. Okay, fine. So we'll have to just, let's make it ACT. Okay, so this is after sorting by name.
So what did you change?
The variable names.
AC. Okay.
And the parameter names and then the code for that.
These are just dummy variables. These are not accounts, correct?
Yeah, these are parameters.
Parameter variables. Okay. This is not AC1, AC.
Yeah, it could have been like this also. So we are saying yes, it's of type. There are two parameters in this function. Okay. Fine. It's not necessary for us to specify the type for the parameters here in a lambda expression. Okay. Anyway. Fine. Okay. So next, yes, let's create some more comparators. Okay. So like we created one comparator. Yeah, I think we can keep all the comparators here together, fine, and use them one by one. Okay. So we have a name comparator, and then we have a comparator for comparing by balance. Okay. Yeah, in case of balance, what should be done? ACT1 dot get balance. Fine. This is a primitive value, and therefore we'll have to just convert to the type long. Yeah. So from there till here, that's what is a primitive long, and this becomes get balance. Okay, so now we'll sort by using the, okay, this was fine. So yeah, we can just copy this.
CP2 को long में करना है.
No, auto boxing conversion will happen. That is auto.
Okay.
After sorting by. Okay, we'll have to use the balance comparator first. And after sorting by balance, let's check this out. Fine, so this should be lowest balance. Fine. Yeah. Fine, it is ordered by balance now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we want it to be ordered by name. Okay, let's change the names maybe. Uppercase, lowercase, fine. We want it to be case insensitive. Okay. Okay, let me change this to lowercase a. Okay, fine. So now let's check this, what happens because of this. Fine, we have a name comparator. When we ordered by name, fine, this was actually first. Fine, now it should become the last one. Fine, because it's all uppercase first and then the lowercase, right? Yeah, so you can see sorting by name. Yeah, and that has gone at the end. Okay, fine. We have a comparator which can be used for case insensitive comparison. Okay, but anyway, here if we are having an array of string, that would be useful, but here we are having array of account. Okay, so now we may use a method of string class, and I'm just using the method of the string class. So let's define, okay, like we have a name comparator defined like this. Okay, we have a name comparator 2. Let's call it name comparator 2. Okay, where it's going to say compare to ignore case. Fine, this is a method of string class, right? This is a method of string compare to ignore case. Okay, fine, it's giving a result similar to the compare to, that is it returns an int value. Fine. Okay, but this will be ignoring the case. Okay, so we may use again. Fine, so we may try this also. And we'll make it as name comparator 2. Okay, so we make a case insensitive comparison, right? Fine, so clear? Case fine, so we can have a case insensitive comparison of strings. Fine, so using comparable and comparator. Fine, clear on this? Fine, so yeah, so fine, first part is done, that is about looking at comparable and comparator. So we have tried out the comparable and the comparator. Fine. You could have more complex comparators. Okay, let me show you a few more things related to comparator. Okay, yeah. So what do we do? What happens? Let's try out first what happens in case, okay, what would happen in case I say, okay, my accounts, the size of the array is 7. Yeah, and I put elements only in the 5 places. There are 2 nulls. What do you expect?
So please repeat the question.
Fine. We have updated the size of the array to 7. So we allocated 7 elements in my array, but we have filled up only the 5 elements.
Fine.
Okay, last 2 elements are null.
Okay.
Null. Right? They are null. And therefore, what would happen? Want to see what happens when we try this sort method here? Okay, fine, let's check this. Yeah, what do we expect? Yeah, what is expected?
Null, not a number, something for 2 of them.
I think something wrong, because have we saved and compiled? Okay, I think I didn't save. Yeah, yeah. Fine. When it see, it has shown the toString method has worked. So before sorting, yes, it is showing there are 2 nulls at the end. Right, and then when it tries the comparison, right, it has to compare the 2 objects, right? So it will be making comparison, so it will be calling the compare to method. And if it is trying the natural ordering, yes, it will use and cast it into a comparable type and call the compare to method. Fine. Okay, so when it is calling the compare to method on a null, oh, there's no object and you are trying to call a compare to method, and that would result in a error saying null pointer exception. Okay, so one of the common exceptions in Java basically is this one, which is null pointer exception. Okay, so it's giving us a null pointer exception. So how do we avoid this? Oh, you may have such a scenario, right, where elements are null in an array and you're saying I want to sort them. Okay, let's try doing something about it. So yeah, so you're saying, okay, I want to sort by us. Okay, yeah. Now, okay, let's say I'll do one more thing. I'll revert back to 5. Let's get the thing working first. Okay, and I'll show you one more comparator which you can have. See, we don't have to write the logic of comparison by account number outside of the account class, because natural ordering is defined and we are saying, oh, it is already comparable. So if your class account is comparable, can I create a comparator, fine, which can sort by account number? Whatever is the natural ordering, can I use that as a comparator? Right? The idea being that yes, wherever a comparator for account is needed, for example, here also I could have passed a comparator, right? We have been doing that. We have been passing a comparator. Okay, so do we have a comparator? Fine. So yes, what we can do here is you can say comparator dot natural order. There is a static method called natural order. We have a static method called naturalOrder. Okay, fine. I think I had listed here. Okay. Fine. So some useful method of. Okay, I'll first list those methods. There are many methods, but I'm fine. Currently, we take up a few of them. Some useful methods of. Okay, fine. These are useful. Okay, used for creating comparator. Okay, fine. So okay, so these are methods of comparator. Comparator of some type T. Okay, so methods of comparator of T. Okay, and what are those methods? We have a public static method. These are static methods. Right? As far as abstract methods is concerned, yes, there is one abstract method called compare. Fine, but the static methods which are available here, yes, we have a static method to return a comparator of T. Okay, so yeah, it returns a these are all methods for creating comparator. Name of the method is, so we can just say naturalOrder, right? So there's one method called naturalOrder. Okay, there's another method like this called reverseOrder. naturalOrder, reverseOrder. Right? So yes, if you want to sort by descending, right, you can do that. Another useful method. Okay, fine. So yes, you would like to have it reverse order. Fine. So you got a comparator already, which is comparing by name, right? And even you might like to have it in descending order of name. Okay, so we have a default method here, right? And that method takes a parameter, fine. That method returns a comparator. So all of these methods are only for creating a comparator. Okay, fine. So those two of, if your class, if that T is a comparable type, then you can have a naturalOrder and a reverseOrder. Okay, you already have a comparator like a name comparator which we have created. Okay, we can say, okay, let's have a reversed. Okay, fine. I think it's not a default method but a static method. I have to check that. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll need to check either it's a static method or it's a. Okay, but yeah, I'll talk about another static method in which is our interest currently. Okay, we have a static method to return a comparator of T. Okay, name of the method is nullsFirst, and it takes as parameter a comparator. So given a comparator, I can create a comparator which will sort even if it is null. Your logic remains intact. Okay, it's only taking care of nulls. Okay, but you have actually there are two such methods, right? This is one, and the other one is saying nulls So you pass a comparator and create a comparator which will take care of nulls. So for any comparator, yes, you can convert it into a null safe comparator. When given a comparator, so these two are null safe comparators. It's your choice whether you would like to have if there are nulls, you would like to have them at the end or at the beginning. And so accordingly, you can choose your method here. Okay. Yeah. I just need to check here as far as this is concerned, reversed is concerned. Either it's a default method or it might be a static method which takes a comparator as a parameter. And similar to the nullsFirst, nullsLast, they take a comparator, modify and create a new comparator for you, right? Okay. So, okay, we'll check this, I think. Reversed method name is reversed, but I'm not sure. Either it's a static method and taking a parameter or on an existing. So let's try it, and then the compiler should give us an error. Okay. Yeah. Here, so what we do here is go to the test account. Yeah. Okay. So we've made the change. Yeah. Fine. So this is one for natural order after sorting, right? So, but I have just said natural order, right? Fine. So comparator dot natural order. Okay. So all things should work. Okay, as it is, fine. The way it was working. Okay, let's check what's the error. So it's not compiling. Arrays dot toString. Acha, oh, I think we did something at the wrong place. This was to be passed as a parameter to the toString to the the sort method. Instead, I think we did something wrong and we did it with the accounts class. Okay, it's not here. It has to be done in the sort method. Yeah, here. Sorry, it should have been here, right? Okay, so sort account by using. So here we are not we are using sort method with two parameters where we are passing a comparator. Okay. Fine. So this was related to after sorting. Now it's ordered by account number still. Fine. So no change. Fine. It is still ordered by account number. And when we said natural ordering, fine. Now we are using sort with two parameters, not the one with single parameter. Okay. So we can just say natural ordering, natural order, or we could even use the fine like natural order. Yes, we could be using the reverse order. Yeah, we can use the reverse order. Sorting by reverse order. So this should be reverse order of the account numbers. Is that a reverse order by account number? Yeah. And compare with the earlier one. So whatever was first has gone last, right? Completely reverse order. Okay, fine. Okay. Uh, let's test the other method which we wanted. So if we have a comparator, right? And we want a reverse comparator. Okay, natural order was anyway a comparator. So instead of passing like this, okay, let's try the okay, I think I'll keep this but comment it out. Okay, another way of doing it could have been to say, yes, we'll just say, we'll keep this as natural order. So it gives us a comparator dot. So if it's a, I'm assuming it's a default method. I just want to check, confirm. It might be a default method or it might be a static method. In that case, it will become a parameter. Okay. Oh, it's giving an error. So it's not a default method, but rather a static method, right? So we have the method called comparator.reversed. Okay. So we'll be using comparator.reversed. And parameter is this one, comparator.naturalOrder. Okay. So comparator has a method called reversed. Fine. It takes a comparator as a parameter. So the one which was created by using natural order, we are doing a reverse one. So this is applicable to any comparator. It's just that we are testing the method called reversed. Okay. So two ways of doing it, right? Reversed method reversed interface. Achha, I think that was earlier was the correct one. It was default. It is supposed to be default then. Is there a reversed method? No arguments required. So if it's not requiring an argument, okay. Let's come back to where it was. Comparator.naturalOrder.reversed. Yes. Why this didn't compile? Let me just put this as a, and just put it in brackets. Okay, on which I'm calling the comparator. Okay, on this we call the reversed method. Okay. Okay, so the error basically is about the bounds which we are giving. Okay, fine. So yeah, we may have to use a casting, because we are saying it's a comparator for comparator of natural account. Yeah. Okay, let me just try here. Cast as a comparator for account. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So by casting, fine, the error has gone because this was okay. Earlier, it wasn't able to determine the type of comparator here. Okay, because just when we say comparator, that natural order, fine, okay, fine, it's unable to know the actual type for the comparator of which type. Right? So yes, this is just to indicate that this is a comparator of account. Okay, fine. Now we should be able to see this. Sorting by reverse order, still working. Okay. Fine. So yes, so the idea here is in the comparator class, fine. Yes, we have these useful methods. Fine, these are some useful methods. We need to test out the nulls first and nulls last. Okay, want to test that? Okay, so let's test out the nulls first and nulls last. Okay. Okay, so for that, yes, what we'll do is we'll make it as having 7 elements. Okay, so there are 2 nulls now, and okay, so here is the sort method, and we are just saying, okay, comparator dot natural order, right? That's what is being used. But then we would like to have it null safe. So if you want to have it null safe, okay, I'll take it to the next line. I'll say, sorry, comparator of comparator dot. We want nulls to be in the beginning or in the end. Maybe we'll keep it in the beginning. Okay, so this is my comparator, and I'm making it nulls first comparator. Okay, fine. So first sort at least will go through. Okay, second sort onwards, yes, there will be error because they are not null safe. Okay, but at least the first one, that should go through. Okay, yeah. So we get an error, but that's after doing a first time sort where we get initial nulls. Okay, fine. This was not working earlier unless we made it use the comparator dot nulls first. Okay, so comparator provides, see, like even when we defined our interface called penalty, we added our static methods. And you have to find, so these functional interfaces, they normally would give us a lot of such methods, and they are concerning how do we create object of that type. Okay, so mainly related to creating the objects. Okay, so static methods would be, you will find a lot of such pattern where we have a function interface containing lot of static methods and maybe sometimes default methods also to return objects of the type of the function interface. Fine, clear. So these are some useful static methods here. Okay. Now, so any questions now related to there are other useful methods of comparator, but we'll be looking at them at a much later stage, right? Because there are a few more syntaxes which are concerning. We have this lambda expression, and how do we write a lambda expression? We have to specify parameter list, a lambda operator, and something. But instead of that, yes, we should be able to, not in all cases of lambda expression, but there are some cases of lambda expression where we use something known as a method reference. Okay, so we haven't looked at those aspects. Otherwise, this code can be much cleaner than what you are seeing here. Okay, fine. I can put the code, fine, to test it out if you want. Yes, how but I'll not explain how it is done. Okay, we'll look at that explanation much later. Okay, but yes, this comparator could also have been created in a different way. Okay, I'll reverse it to use instead of, okay, so let's have one for 5, another for 7. So I want the one for 5. Okay, I'm commenting out 7 here, and arrays dot sort. Yeah, okay, this is natural order, that's fine, but okay, these two I'll let them be. Okay, but then here, right, this is name comparator. Okay, this is name comparator, and here what I do here is, okay, so I'll comment this. Anyway, I'll reassign, so that can be commented. I'll again assign to name comparator to use a different one. It's only about how we are creating equal to comparing okay. So fine, this one, what we were doing was this one. Okay, so this is another way that same, see here we have created a name comparator. How did we create? Oh, we had to write a lambda expression, right? Okay, instead of that, I'm going to do, this is something which will be possible. It also indicates one more thing, that there is some method called comparing available in the static method comparing in the comparator interface. I am not looking at, I'm not going to explain this at this moment. Okay, there are more things we need to know. We need to be also looking at the standard functional interfaces which are part of the java.util.function package. So once we have looked at that, then we'll come back to comparator again. Okay, fine. So it's not only these small list of methods, 4-5 methods I mentioned. There are many more methods available in the static methods in the comparator, and they're all used for creating comparator. So this is just an example of how clean the code can be for creating a comparator. See, this compared to this one, yeah. How did we create the comparator? We said just comparator dot comparing, and we just said, okay, how am I going to compare? I'm going to compare, because this is about sorting account. I want to use the getName method. Whatever the getName is returning, use that for ordering. Okay, and that account colon getName, that syntax is a new one, right? Okay, fine. So fine. So yes, when we look at that, so later, fine, we'll be looking revisiting comparator again. Okay, fine, for the additional methods. Okay, and before that, yes, we'll have to also learn about the method reference. What we have used, account colon getName, colon getName, that's known as a method reference. And so once we have done that method reference thing, yes, then it should be working. Okay, want to just check that this is correct. Fine. Sorting by name, yeah, sorting by name is working. Okay, fine, got sorted by name. Okay, so yes, it can be done. So yes, you'll find later that creating comparator is a much simpler job. Okay, and it's going to be very simple to create a comparator. Okay. And in general, I'll say here why it has worked this account colon colon get name this way, comparing and passing like this. Okay, because what is get name returning? It's returning a string which is comparable type. Okay, because it's a comparable type, yes, I can just say dot comparing and pass, indicate that this is a function which will return you a comparable item. So give me a comparator which sorts based on that item. Okay, fine. So we have the getter methods, right? Fine. Anyway, more on that later. You'll have to wait. But